You're listening to Rock, Pop, and Roll.
Wait a minute.
I have seen rock and roll future. This is Rock, Pop, and Roll.
It's Rock, Pop, and Roll. I'm Rob. Before the term Americana became a word in country rock, there was this band out of Festus, Missouri called the Bottle Rockets.
Ever see that damn thing at burned out shell? For a little while that trailer must have seemed like hell. Kerosene worked.
The Bottle Rockets, man. The Bottle Rockets had such an interesting career that you may not even know who they are. And if you do, then you know a lot of what I may talk about, and that's cool. That's good. But the Bottle Rockets were right there at the beginning of '90s alt country and roots rock in early to mid '90s. Now there was this Americana cowpunk thing that was going on in the mid '80s. Some Tom Petty-ish country rock. We'll talk about that. But the Bottle Rockets, unfiltered, working class crunch of like Skynyrd, a little bit of the punch of the Ramones. Famed critic Robert Christgau, I think is how you say his name, out in L.A., gave the Brooklyn Side album an A- in the Village Voice. When that album was released, praised as like tracing a line from Guthrie to Haggard to Springsteen. That's what Uncut Magazine said. They were around about 30 years. The Bottle Rockets were. This is Kerosene.
That's a pure perfect world. Tells no lies.
Off their first album.
Burn you down, you try to.
Skynyrd meets Crazy Horse, huh? We'll investigate that today. We'll talk a lot more. And here, man, you're going to hear some rock and freaking roll today from the Bottle Rockets. That's off that first album as well. Brian Henneman was the guitar player, singer, songwriter for the band. And he had a band in the late 80s called Chicken Truck. He was in the St. Louis area. And Henneman and his drummer Mark Ortman were in that band. They didn't have any major label releases, but they were around. And Henneman was in that St. Louis music scene, and he worked as a guitar tech, played a little bit with Uncle Tupelo. I mean, when the Bottle Rockets, before they were formed, if his buddies and Uncle Tupelo, Jeff Tweedy and Jay Farrar, wanted somebody to come in and tear it up on the guitar, they would bring Brian Henneman on stage. Backstory is that Uncle Tupelo back in '92 had the manager for Uncle Tupelo helped Henneman cut a 7-inch, a single, for the song called Indianapolis. I think I got that here. I helped him cut this. And this led to the Bottle Rockets being formed. True story about traveling through and stopping in Indianapolis, not because they wanted to.
A sex offense, put him 3 days in jail. Stuck in Indianapolis, hope I'll live to tell the tale. Can't go west, can't go east. I'm stuck in Indianapolis with a fuel pump that's deceased. 10 days on the road, now I'm 4 hours from my hometown. It's this hell or Indianapolis with no way to get around.
Yeah, It's one of my favorite from the Bottle Rockets. They would go ahead and record that properly on a later album. It's Rock, Pop, and Roll. Rob recording in the studio, the home studio today. It's a little overcast. Thunderstorms predicted tonight. We'll get this one in before the power flickers. Hope it doesn't. We're going to record this about the band, the Bottle Rockets, and it's a little larger than just the Bottle Rockets. Talking about how a band like this could come to be, could have a 30-year career, not really be known outside of music circles because they weren't really on the radio. They were, they were a live band. You went to see them live. I saw them open for Todd Snyder. First time I saw them, he opened, the Bottle Rockets opened for Todd Snyder and the Nervous Wrecks, which would have been sometime late 90s. I mean, the Bottle Rockets opened a tour. They opened John Fogerty's tour when Fogerty went back on the road with Blue Moon Swamp, and when Fogerty decided he was going to play CCR tunes. Bottle Rockets were the opener for John Fogerty. And Brian Henneman told Otis Gibbs, who did a podcast, now does more stuff on YouTube, told Henneman told Otis Gibbs in the podcast. Henneman said one time Fogerty pulled him over and said, "Hey, you're a great rock and roll singer." Made Brian Henneman said, made him feel really good. Still gets the willies thinking about it. Uncle Tupelo. So the backstory is they imploded in 1994. Tweety went on to record an album called AM, and there was an album from Sunvolt, which Jay went into and recorded an album. Actually, the Sunvolt album came out first before that AM album. This is off a Trace. So this is what the shards of Uncle Tupelo, one of the places it landed.
Sky cracks open, the walls falling through the floor. Just as well to keep it. Get some game in.
There was this, I was way into it, the sound of the mid-90s alt country. I thought, because there had been rock on the radio, and then there wasn't. There was a different kind of rock and roll. It was the grunge, and I've said before in podcasts, and I've heard about it. Rob, what are you talking bad about the grunge for? It's not the rock and roll I wanted. This was this Tom Petty, this Springsteen, this Woody Guthrie, this Lynyrd Skynyrd vibe pulled into the mid 90s. That's what Sunvolt did. And that's what Wilco did at the time. AM came out, and Brian Henneman played guitar on this album.
Got a box full of letters. Think you might like to read. Some things that you might like to see, but they're all addressed to me.
And that first Wilco album was more of this country rock, roots rock, Americana sound, and Wilco went on to be something a little bit different than that. And Sunvolt kind of hung around with the loud sound, although sometimes a little shoegazing. But that was Tweety, and then that was Sunvolt. The thing called No Depression is what they called alt country. The phrase that was synonymous with that when you talked about that sound of what is that sound of, what's the sound of this? They called it No Depression, and that came from the No Depression album of Uncle Tupelo. So to complete this circle, go back to that No Depression album, 90, 91? This is Graveyard Shift from Uncle Tupelo.
Hometown, same town blues.
Kind of gave birth to this whole scene.
Well, what a life a mess can be. Well, I'm sitting here thinking of you. Won't you give these thoughts to me? Well, time won't wait, better open the gate.
I mean,
needs to be done.
not that far off what there was this grunge element to that. The soft and loud, and the playing fast, playing heavy, guitars. But then if we look at it as the Bottle Rockets, Brian Henneman in the center of this circle, and it goes out a little bit, you've got Uncle Tupelo, and you've got Wilco, and you've got Sunvolt, and you've got the influences that came before them that formed this sound. It's rock, pop, and roll. We're going to get into the Bottle Rockets catalog. This may be a two-parter for you. If you're on a commute, you might be driving, you might get home, or you might get to work, and you'll have to pause this one. We'll be here when you get back. It might be that kind of podcast. Rock, pop, and roll, and the seeds of alt country before we get to the Bottle Rockets and the stuff I like about them and the songs you may dig, maybe you haven't heard yet. Alt country was those seeds planted 60s, 70s, and 80s to get to alt country. So I wanted to play you a few cuts, a few people that are important that kind of form that sound. The Byrds, the sweethearts of the rodeo, they brought some electric guitars into country music.
Flight so swift, rain won't lift, gate won't close, railings close. Get your mind off winter time, you ain't going nowhere. Moving right behind, tomorrow's the day, a bright moment.
The Byrds, 70s, Willie would be an influence. Guys like Townes Van Zandt, Guy Clark, Waylon Jennings. That outlaw country led to what the Bottle Rockets were doing. Waylon was one of those guys, and Waylon's son, Shooter Jennings, who's a great producer. I saw Shooter just one time live over on 82nd Street. I think, what was it called, the Mill? There was a short-lived live venue, but it was nice, just standing room. And Shooter Jennings came back when he had 4th of July was the song he had out at the time. So this would have been sometime in the 2000s. Shooter went on to make a bunch of albums, and then great producer, works just unique. It doesn't all sound like 70s outlaw country. It sounds it's all in him, but it comes out a little differently. Though Shooter has this love for his dad in the past, and he unearthed some tracks from Waylon Jennings that had not been released. So as part of this, let me slip this thing in here. It's a song called Diamonds, just out as we record this at the end of June. Shooter went back and finished up or mixed or whatever he needed to do with some of Waylon Jennings' music. And he's released an album already of that. And I think there's another album coming out, and this is the first single that they put. This is 2026 Waylon Jennings via Shooter Jennings. And so I wanted to take this opportunity to play this song. It's called Diamonds. Glenn Campbell plays guitar on it. You'll hear, this is him talking.
Are you rolling? 1, 2, 1. Come in when you want to.
So this is brand new, really brand new, never heard before, Waylon Jennings. What do you think?
Didn't I give the diamonds? Didn't I give the stars? Give up my drinking, fighting in bars. I have looked for you high, girl. Look for you low. Oh, my lady, where did you go?
Nice job, Shooter, pulling that thing out. They say Tom Petty's going to have some stuff from his catalog released this year that you haven't heard. New Mudcrutch, like a third Mudcrutch album. That's Waylon. In the 80s, there was a band called Jason and the Scorchers. As we continue this line from the 60s to the 90s.
Oh, hello there, you cough and smile. Your hair messed up enough a little while. You said I'm sorry, but it's all a waste. Not a whole meal, just a little taste. Now there's nothing left to fight again. Another line, another card, make up your name on the golden ball chain.
Jason and Scorchers. Great. There was a band back in the 80s in that same era called the Long Riders. Lights of Downtown off their State of the Union album.
Pack my bags, pack it in. Never coming back here again. Paid my dues and stayed in line.
And if you listen to all this, and then when we listen to the Bottle Rockets, it's going to make, I hope that it makes sense, because we're giving you this background of how the sound moved from Skynyrd or the 60s to the 90s.
See the lights of downtown.
I love the Long Riders. I like the Jayhawks off of their Hollywood Town Hall album.
You came and you gave without taking. The best was yet to come. I know where I was for.
And by this time, the Bottle Rockets were around, right?
And so I kept my fingers crossed to win at any cost. The sound of water.
Gorgeous Midwestern vocal harmonies. Whiskey Town, Ryan Adams Band. The young Ryan Adams brought some of that little punk poetry to the genre. Whiskey Town. Forgot about Whiskey Town.
Well, excuse me if I break my own heart. It's mine from the finish, I guess. It was mine from the start.
Just not that far away from a Springsteen or a Petty, is it?
Just don't seem to
It's from a Stranger's Almanac. Later in the 90s, as this sound was a little more pervasive, Bottle Rockets fitting into the sounds of all these things. Her most acclaimed album, Lucinda Williams, had Car Wheels on a Gravel Road.
I think I lost it. Let me know if you come across. Let me know if I let it fall along a back road somewhere.
And what I find that these albums have in common is just a guitar. Just guitars, sometimes acoustic, but a lot of times it's that hard strumming, power chordish rock and roll guitar.
Give me some love to fill me up. Give me some time. Give me some stuff. Give me some.
And as we get into to this kind of thing again, back to that Tom Petty sound. Not a little bit this, but the dual guitars of Drive-By Truckers, something else. This is closer to a Bottle Rocket sound off of Southern Rock Opera.
When I was a young boy, sniffed a lot of glue. Mom sent me to rehab, told me what to do. We didn't have much money, the Lord picked up the tab, made me write a love song sitting in
And as I listen to all this, there's just the lyrics are a little more direct. It's country music directness with rock and roll, and that's what all country was. Essentially, if you boil it down, it was country lyrics and fucking rock and roll. Eventually, alt country, it would become Americana. Whatever the name, the rebrand, the umbrella that everything from John Prine to the drive-by truckers, to Marty Stewart, to Todd Snyder, Jason Isbell. It's just what it's called. Whatever it is, it's that intersection of country rock and real and rock and roll. Country, rock, and rock and roll, which to me are three separate things. There's, you define them however you want to, but that's what it is to me. It's rock, pop, and roll. I like that drive-by truck. That's 2001. Is when that came out. So in rock, pop, and roll, let's get into what the Bottle Rockets were doing. From that first album, the low-budget album. I mean, they produced it quickly. Eric Ambel did a lot of work with them, recorded a lot of their great albums, produced it. This is Wave That Flag, as we are now into a run of the Bottle Rockets. And we're going to talk about what we just heard in a minute, but right now...
Look, here comes another one, four-wheel drive. Look there in the window, man. Sakes alive, that good old boys are waving the stars and bars. It's a red, white, and blue flag, but it ain't ours. Wave that flag high, wave it high. Do you know what it means? Do you know why? Maybe being a rebel ain't no big deal, but if somebody owned your ass, how would you feel?
Bottle Rock. And Brian, I mean, he was always pointed with his beliefs, his if you want to call him his politics, but his, spoke what he felt. So that's that first album we heard a couple of cuts from, and then they had the Brooklyn Side came next, and this was their breakthrough, if they were to have one.
Straight from 12th grade into junior college, buddy, I passed my exam, making me a law enforcement person, got me a gun and a badge, I'm a man. Radar gun, 43 from where I mean,
for just a brief second, like in 94, 95, radio did play them. This got played. It was a big hit on college radio, on the AAA stations, album alternative stations. Crossed over a little bit, peaked at number 27 on the mainstream rock chart, where you were going to find in 94, you'd find Pearl Jam, or you'd find whatever the rock stations at the time were playing. This was their moment.
Sheriff William Buckberger says our mayor's got a master plan. A new post gun means
it was a big hit on college radio. On that album was also this one, Welfare Music.
Quit school when she was 17. Senator on TV calls her welfare queen. Used to be daddy's little girl. Now she needs help in this mean old world. Buys cassette tapes in the bargain bin. Loves Carlene Carter and Loretta Lynn. Tries to have fun on a Saturday night. Sunday morning don't shine too bright. It's welfare music, Watch the baby dance.
A lot of people, this is their favorite album. If you're a Bottle Rockets fan, yeah, I think it's fair to say. I think this kicks in here. Hang on. Violin. Little Cougar, little Mellencamp influence, right?
Takes two to make three, but one ain't here.
Off the Brooklyn side. Speaking of a favorite,
2, 3, 4.
Anybody ever tried to buy a car and not had the money, and so you spent $1,000 on a car? They wrote the song $1,000 Car.
$1,000 car, it ain't worth nothing. $1,000 car, it ain't worth shit. Might as well take your $1,000 and set fire to it. $1,000 car ain't worth a dime.
Almost 5 minutes of beauty, of lyrical beauty. And I think it rocks. Everything's got a good guitar solo in it because Brian's a great guitar player. You know, and that's where they talk about that. Listen to that. They talk about Neil Young. Crazy Horse. That sounds like Neil Young and Crazy Horse. Neil Young and Crazy Horse. This is the Zuma album. This is 1975, Neil Young and Crazy Horse. Hear the resemblance.
Don't cry, no tears around me. Don't cry, no tears around me.
Do people like the Zuma album? Is that one that I don't know. I don't have reviews or critics stuff in front of me. Don't Cry No Tears. Does it have a guitar solo? I mean, Crazy Horse, Bottle Rockets. I think there's more than a little similarity there. Off the Brooklyn side, my personal favorite off that album.
If he ever changes his mind, thinks of leaving you behind, or if you just want something more, and he steps out the front door, I'll be coming around, knocking your back door.
And when I say it's my favorite, I think that can change. That can change. Your favorites can change. You can have I have a top 5 songs of all time that moves around. But the poppiness of this one, I think, is what grabs me. Just the 60s sugar. I'll be coming around. In comparison to off the same album, laying heavy into the Crazy Horse, Sunday Sports. So this album, it was an independent release, but the radio airplay that they got, there was a little bit of a bidding war. Major labels wanted them. Atlantic Records eventually signed the band and reissued the Brooklyn side. And then they had to make their major label debut, and it was called 24 Hours a Day. And so this was the major label debut in '97. Eric Roscoe Amble produced it again. Cleaner, sounds slicker, but still rock and roll, man.
I know where we could go if we ain't got nothing to do. All we're gonna need is a $10 bill. Maybe we better bring 2, 'cause you never know how to nothing, but it sure is something.
Boom, 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 boom. Talking about going down to the bar. Just a little slow toms right down the road. 24 hours a day. I'm going to play a couple of cuts off of this. Just an underappreciated, forgotten, you know if you know, but not that many do. But I think if you like rock and roll, you like the Bottle Rockets, and this may be I don't know, the Brooklyn side might be the better place to start. But this one has a radio friendliness to it, just the sound, even though radio didn't pick it up. It's called Kit Kat Clock.
Older every roll of his eyes just hangs there, and he don't look scared. Wish I could be so wise. Wish I could be so wise. Who knows where time goes? I waste mine thinking about it, I suppose. But the Kit Kat Clock maybe understands.
I mean, it's just about a clock. You remember those black clocks on the wall and the tail swung left and right? Are you old enough to remember that? I think my mama had a Kit Kat clock out in the country on the wall in the kitchen. Thinking about the passing of time. They recut Indianapolis for this album and became like a concert staple.
From a guy named Joe.
That's the album version of that.
Right, let's roll.
And there's a looseness to this album a little bit. Shows up here.
Stop this ride, I wanna get off quick. It's making me nervous, it's making me sick. These ups and downs, complete turnarounds, make me realize how good stability sounds. Every minute we're getting closer, going faster than...
And that is Turn for the Worse, and one more I want to play off of this. It's called Perfect Far Away. I mean, unfortunately, Radar Gun was not it was just a blip, a statistical blip on the dial.
She ripped through this heart of mine like a weed eater with brand new line. There was no blood, no, there was no gore. She cut me clean, she cut me fine. I knew she never could be mine. Still I had been changed forevermore. I wonder if she's real, I really couldn't say. Well, I don't wanna know, cause she's so perfect far away.
So that album really didn't do for them what Atlantic Records wanted it to do. So then, that little Radar Gun blip was just that. Rock stations were dominated at that time by grunge and Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden. So the twang from the Bottle Rockets, not radio's thing at the time, and country radio was into Garth Brooks and Shania Twain, and Bottle Rockets coming out with the big Marshall stacks, the big amps, the little politically lyrically, right? If I can say it. Vocals that are kind of raw, a little too aggressive for country radio.
River, get down, won't you get down, river? River, get down once again.
There's a quote I read.
Messed up this whole town. So get
a music writer named Bill
river,
Coon.
Get down.
I quote him. He said, "The weird divisions that separate country from rock probably place the Bottle Rockets in that rock camp with the guitars crunching." And there was a time when a song like one from one of the albums, When I Was Dumb, would be in medium rotation at any top 40 AM station, he said. But today's alternative rock stations don't take to rurality.
Get down, won't you get down, river?
So that's off of the Leftovers album that they put out right after the 24 Hours a Day. I want to pull one more off of that called My Own Cadillac. These are outtakes, tracks that never got released after they left Atlantic, so they put this out.
So
this is 98, but they did sign. They had a deal with a label called Doolittle Records. Had a new bass player too, a guy named Robert Kearns. And they put it out, and I remember being excited about it. I'm thinking, man, the new Bottle Rockets have an album, and I loved, 24 Hours a Day, Indianapolis, Slow Toms, Smoking 100s. The stuff off that album, I listened to it a lot. That was in the CD days too, right? So I was in the car just listening to that Bottle Rockets CD was in that player a lot. And I listened to a lot of radio too, and it wasn't on the radio. It was like, why aren't you? This is my first, because I thought with not welfare music, but Radar Gun. I thought, well, maybe somebody can figure out how the Bottle Rockets fit into rock and roll and your rock station, and nobody really could. And I think it was that, as the writer Kuhn said, rurality. They weren't really into a little twang on rock radio, and I don't know why they wouldn't have been, but they weren't. I mean, unless you were, this was the transition to, there became classic rock stations, and then the Bottle Rockets obviously didn't fit into classic rock. Although they fit that sound, they weren't going to get played on a station that doesn't add new music. But they didn't fit the rock stations that were playing the Pearl Jam and that, the Nirvana and that genre, that vein of that, road of rock, the sound that was at the end of that road. So they didn't really fit. And realized that I did during that 24 hours a day that nobody's playing this. They should be playing Indianapolis. There's something that works on here. The radio that I knew growing up in the 80s and into the early 90s. So then they released an album, this album on Doolittle Records. And this was the first song I heard from that. It's called Nancy Sinatra.
Let's go, girl. So fine, y'all.
And it sounded more like ZZ Top than it sounded like anything else to me.
Frankie is her ball.
And not that it's terrible, right? It's just not. It's some of that countryness, that rurality went away. It was there. You could find it. But were they chasing radio? Were they chasing being in that genre? Because this is a little more, arena rock-ish.
Well, they want us to eat shit and say thanks.
And I don't know if that's the right arena rock-ish. I don't know if that's even right.
But I still got my itch, saying Sammy can't drive 55, but I'm headed for the ditch. Yeah.
But it rocks nicely. I mean, it rocks. It's just I don't know. The country rock of it went away, except for songs like this.
Sometimes open, sometimes closed, sometimes young, sometimes old, sometimes begging, sometimes proud, sometimes lost, sometimes found.
And that was my favorite on that album. Sometimes Found. And I don't know if I'm really bashing. I'm not bashing on the Bottle Rockets. But the expectation that I had, and expectations that come back and nail you every time, was it's going to kind of sound a lot like it did before, only updated, however that was going to be. And I didn't realize the update was going to be a sound that was more straight ahead rock and roll to be straight ahead rock.
Well, I gotta get up, gotta go to work, then I go.
But Ramones-ish, right?
I gotta get up, gotta go to work, then I come home, gotta go to bed 'cause I gotta get up.
And as I go through these, I think I'm maybe being too harsh on the album, because if I listen back to it, I think this may be their lost great rocker, great lost rocker, however you want to say it.
I got love like a truck, a big old truck, a long and strong and shining. I got love like a truck, a big old truck. You got my gears a-whining. I got love like a truck.
So that was Brand New Year. That was 99 as we listened to the Bottle Rockets catalog. And then they, out of left field, Doug Somm.
Bottle Rockets are back, and we want to thank Doug Somm for all the beautiful vibrations. We miss you.
The songs of Doug Somm. He was in a band called the Sir Douglas Quintet. She's About a Mover. It was their hit. But the Bottle Rockets did a whole album of Doug Somm songs, and if you go back and you listen to it now, you talk about the lost album of the Bottle Rockets that maybe people forget was so great. It's all good. This whole album's good. I do have the She's About a Mover, their version of this one, this classic.
Well, she was walking down the street, looking fine as she could be. Hey, hey, she was walking down the street, looking fine as she could be.
Get to the chorus.
Hey, hey,
get to the chorus. Yeah.
I say, go on, baby. Whoa, yeah, baby, what I say? Hey, hey. She's about a mover. She's about
one of the great garage rock songs, Tex-Mex songs that came out. Was that 60s? Late 60s? Now looking it up. Songs of Somm was the name of that. They had an album called Blue Sky they released next. It had Warren Haynes and the Allman Brothers, Government Mule. He played a little bit on that. Produced the record. And then they had an album called Zoysia in 2006. Zoysia. And, well, this was that. It's called a song called Better Than Broken.
We used to kiss, we used to hold hands, we never did.
If you're getting anything out of this, what are you getting out of this? Well, I hope you're fine, Rob. What are you hoping for, Rob? Yeah, I hope there was some stuff that we listened to earlier. You know, some of that Wilco or Jason and the Scorchers or Long Riders, or you remember the Jayhawks. Maybe that triggers something in somebody's musical love. That they say, oh, no, I'm going to search out some more of that. Maybe. And the other piece is, you know how good the Bottle Rockets are? I do, but I still have to remind myself. And that's the other piece of the podcast today. It's reminding Rob, reminding me.
There was a lonely guy
of what I love.
He always wondered why He couldn't catch the girls who'd catch his eye. The ones that turned to him,
Blind is the name of it.
they never turned him on. They all seem so plain. They all seem so wrong. Well, there's two young lovers.
Just story song. Just a good story song. Love it. Went back with Eric Gamble, the producer for this one.
Met a child of the cosmos on the streets of Canal. Pointed the way, answered the questions I had. But a shortcut through Utah doesn't mean a bad trip. It just sent you through a mountain, out a hole in a cliff. The long way isn't the wrong way, and a wrong turn isn't.
And this album's probably a late career high for them. Shame on me.
I'm never gonna waste another day. No, I'm never gonna waste another day. But she knows I will anyway. Yeah, she knows I will anyway. Never gonna tell another lie. No, I'm never gonna tell another lie.
Just recorded a little more raw. Way it used to be.
The birds have all gone south now, ever since you've gone. Been 2,000 days, ever since you've gone. There's still a memory hanging out around the barn of the way it used to, way it used to be, oh, the way it used to be.
I got one more off of that album, the Lean Forward album. Just good guitar. Just great guitar. It's rock, pop, and roll, looking at the Bottle Rockets as we wind down their albums. This is the Lean Forward album.
Another long day's work is through.
Get on the bus. Get on the bus.
Got to get on the bus. Ride it on home to you.
They had an album called South Broadway Athletic Club.
All week long I've been busting ass.
This was their first album in like 6 years. This was 2015. South Broadway Athletic Club, which I looked it up. It's named after a wrestling and social club in St. Louis.
But right now I'm just overdone, and I'm gonna sit down and do nothing. Big fat nothing.
Big fat nothing. Off that album.
Well, we faded like the flowers when you face just like the moon.
Poppy, just pop rock. You like this stuff.
On the dark side of the room.
Just good lyrics. Always rocks a little bit towards the end.
The good was never good enough for you.
Something good. And then the final album that the Bottle Rockets ever released, their final studio album, was called Bit Logic. Bit Logic. Bit Logic. It was, and this is 2018, and they were the album is all about, the changes, the digital world, the way that it's affecting those who, like the Bottle Rockets, made a living not in that digital world. This is the title cut of that. It's got a little Waylon Jennings phasing going on in the guitar.
In my technicolor childhood, we burned incandescent dreams, illuminating on these future things. The
but didn't turn out like we thought they would. Now we're doing things we never dreamed we could. All this instant information and virtual reality.
Bit logic. Jump ahead for just a second. I wanted to hear that Waylon Jennings guitar solo. Oh, cowbell, little organ. It's like a 70s rock and roll throwback. Off of Bit Logic. A song called Lo-Fi.
Al Green in the kitchen on the AM radio. Best bad sound that I ever did know. Scratchy and it's muddy.
You know, and he's gonna. It's throwback, right? It's retro. It's do you remember when? It's the times that were versus the times that are.
Oh my lo-fi, what can I say? Go ahead, punk, and make my day.
Rock, pop, and roll off of Bit Logic. I got two more for you. We're rolling towards the end of Rock, Pop, and Roll. Thanks for hanging with us today. Listen to all this great Bottle Rockets music.
Now, outlaw country, that's my gig. This kind of music don't make it big, but when cotton's tall, it's out of sight. To know you're doing something right, but it's a bad time to be an outlaw. It's a bad time to be an outlaw. 'Cause my car is broke, my furnace broke, my AC broke, my telephone broke, and all them things that cost me.
Brian Henneman, man, he's kind of the lyrically, he's got that wit of John Prine. Looks at the mundane, the mundane tragedies of life, like a broke down car, with this sharp humor.
Now that Nashville pop is not my deal.
But he also has this Woody Guthrie, welfare music, kind of protest songs. Not really, he talks about poverty or people who are struggling. And he doesn't romanticize it. It's kind of empathy. And that's part of the magic of what the Bottle Rockets and Brian Henneman did. And before we get out of here on Rock, Pop, and Roll, thanks for listening. Rock, Pop, and Roll.com. Yeah, that was in my brain. RockPopandRoll.com for all the old episodes. Rock, Pop, Roll Podcast at gmail.com. That's the email. I've got to keep those two straight, right? And that was the glitch in the system.
It's a bad time to be an outlaw. It's a bad time to be an outlaw.
I mean, the Bottle Rockets on Rock, Pop, and Roll, it just makes sense because it's one of those bands I've loved forever that we never really talk about. And so we did today. Thanks for being there. They never, no gold records on the wall of the Bottle Rockets. They never really packed theaters like Wilco would. But they wrote good songs for people who were like struggling to pay the electricity bill. People who worked just a job, just had a job, had a car with a rust spot in it. That was me. It's still me. I got a car outside that's got a little rust spot in it, singing about me. That's what he did. That's what Brian Henneman did. He sang to his people. The critics liked him. Commercial radio couldn't care less outside of that one little song one time. But music critics loved him. They were a nightmare for a radio station because they didn't fit in. Trapped in that limbo of too rock for country and too country for rock. And And so the commercial radio could never really categorize them well enough to give them any mainstream success. So Henneman quit in 2021. He said this was after COVID. He had just turned 60. He said, "I'm kicking off my traveling shoes, slipping on my house shoes. Home is where the passion lies these days," Brian said. "I just want to be a good husband, a good neighbor, a responsible homeowner, a little dog's daddy." And with that, he was out.
I've got an old song stuck in my head by a singer.
But every time an act like the Jason Isbell or the Reformed Drive-By Truckers with his Isbell's old buddy Patterson Hood, anytime they put a couple of lyrics together and mix a little anxiety, little economic problem, a little rock and roll guitar solo, you put it all together, and there's a little bit of a lineage to Brian Henneman. That's going to do it for today, for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next time with another episode, and I appreciate it if you tell your friends. Let people know. I hear all the time from folks from weird little places that just send me an email at that rockpoprollpodcast@gmail.com. It just always makes me feel good that we've reached somebody. You. Bottle Rockets didn't really make a living off of any streaming. No big album sales, but they survived 30 years. 30 years the old-fashioned way as a working-class touring band who made their money at the merch table and the cash at the door. It's rock and roll, baby. The way it used to be.
I was swinging for the fences. I was pouring out my heart while you marveled at the plastic that they use these days.
To get us out of here, it's off of a thing they recorded for Audio Tree live. Did about 6 songs. This is called Something Good, and I thought it was great to go out with a live vibe, because that's where they were best. Good albums, man, but seeing them live. Take care, be good, be kind, do something nice for somebody. And we'll see you next time on Rock, Pop, and Roll.
It's all over, but we're shouting now. And we had something good, but good was never good enough for you.
Everyone talks about rock these days. The problem is, they forget about the roll. This is Rock, Pop, and Roll.